From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066 and giversplanet.com. Cayman's online platform for fundraising and charitable donations.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Art Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is the second day of May 2022, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands, folks. We're in the month of May already. Almost half of the year has already gone by. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, again, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, by so doing, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads of the Cayman Islands, by observing the rules of the road, the life that you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing as well. There are some persons that we know who may have passed away over the weekend, but until their names are publicly announced, I choose not to mention the person or the family name until it has been officially announced, out of respect for everyone. And at that time, then I can add some personal comments about the individual and the families as well. But again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to all of you who have lost loved ones. For those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility, either locally or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Art Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, again, it's that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. I will repeat, our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. No guest in the studio yet. We expect to have Minister Andre E. Banks in the studio after the 8 o'clock news. So we urge you to stay tuned to that. We will be discussing the work of his ministry, all of those subjects that fall under his portfolio. And of course, the month of May, in the month of May, we celebrate Child Month. We celebrate our children. And the month of May is designated as Child Month. I will share with you the latest COVID-19 figures. This was on the 29th of April, 2022. Public Health released those figures. Positive cases reported to Public Health during the periods are as follows. So on Wednesday, the 27th of April, there were 100 cases reported. On Thursday, the 28th of April, there were 84 cases reported. The release goes on to state that there are 1,039 estimated active cases of COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands. 4 persons are currently hospitalized for COVID-19 related causes, 2 of whom are unvaccinated. They also point out that the 7-day rolling average for the 29th of April was 80. So the rolling average for 7 days, you have an average of 80 reported cases per day. Also, the sister islands reported 11 new cases, leaving them with a total cases since the beginning of the pandemic at 724. So, folks, again, we see why it is that we really cannot let our guard down when it comes to COVID-19. We still have to be vigilant. We still have to be careful. We have to observe all of the safety and health protocols that have been established. And of course, we know now that the mask mandate has not been removed, and the indications are that it is likely to remain in place for at least another 2 months as well. So that is important to note. Okay, shared with you last week, and Dr. McPhail and I spoke about it as well, about Customs and Border Control and the committee that has been established to proactively address the issue of migrants, Cuban migrants into the Cayman Islands, as well. And we continue to see more arrivals in the Cayman Islands, and no doubt we hope it doesn't continue, but if it does, it appears as if we will be prepared to take it on. So I mentioned the fact that the mask mandate remain in place, and what I will do before we go to our first commercial break, I will share this with you as well. So it says COVID-19 regulations amended, indoor mask mandate remains in effect. This was again issued on the 29th of April. Changes to the control and management of COVID-19 regulations, which came into effect on Friday, the 29th of April, relates specifically to public gatherings, processions, parades, boating, sporting activities, and ticket offenses. Cayman Islands indoor mask mandate will remain in effect. Interim Chief Medical Officer Dr. Artelia Newton urged the public to remain compliant with the mask wearing requirements as other restrictions continue to be eased. She's quoted as saying, while we acknowledge that some countries have lifted mask wearing requirements, we have to consider and assess the implications for protecting our population and healthcare system. Mask wearing is still required for indoor events where a distance of 6 feet cannot be constantly maintained, especially since we have noticed a recent increase in new cases over the last few weeks. That's a quote from Dr. Artelia Newton. In addition, all travelers are also expected to comply with mask-wearing requirements, whether they enter the Cayman Islands by air or sea. Also, in order for a cruise ship to call on the Cayman Islands, visitors must be vaccinated and tested prior to embarkation, in the same way as air visitors must be vaccinated and tested prior to arrival. Once in the Cayman Islands, they are expected to comply with the local regulations by wearing a mask before entering establishments or taking public transport. Owners and operators of restaurants and bars are reminded that servers and front of house staff are required to wear masks or cloth face coverings while serving customers. I noticed that terminology, that phrase, front of house staff, is now being used. You used to call it, and then you got back of house staff as well. Those who are in the background and preparing the food and doing all of the other things as well. So, front of house staff are required to wear masks or cloth face coverings while serving customers. I don't know, Miss Susan, that I like that front of house thing. It almost reminds you again of the slavery terminology. The big house, the plantation, and the big house, front of house. Front of premises may be a better terminology to use. This smirks of a little bit of past or the dismal past that the world shares as well. Also, while a number of U.S.-based airlines have removed the requirements for passengers to wear masks on board domestic flights, inbound flights to the Cayman Islands will still require passengers to wear masks during the flights. The regulations have also increased public gathering limits for indoor events to 750 persons. Public gathering limit for outdoor areas has been removed, as well as requirements for a person to obtain permission from the cabinet to hold a procession or a parade. And I guess you can go out and demonstrate if you want to demonstrate as well. They didn't add that one there. Yeah, well, that will help. Yes, Ms. Susan with Bada Banu coming up now, because now I'm going to repeat that again. Public gathering limits for outdoor areas has been removed, as well as the requirements for a person to obtain permission from the cabinet to hold a procession or a parade. The removal of the public gathering limit for outdoor areas extends to boats and sporting events. However, boats and sporting venues must still continue to abide by their legal occupancy requirements. So what that means is, if you have an establishment that says 500 persons, then you must still abide by that 500 person limit, even though as far as COVID-19 is concerned, it is limited. So the unlimited numbers for COVID-19 cannot override the requirement that your particular establishment, be it indoors or outdoors, may have for how many persons you can accommodate. Goes on to say these control and management of COVID-19 regulations are currently scheduled to expire on the 30th of June. So what I just read to you will remain in force until the 30th of June. Folks, we're going to take our first commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
With 2 consecutive decades of milestone growth, the 1970s saw the continuation of this profound change. In 1970, the population of the Cayman Islands was 10,249, with only 403 visitors. The International College of the Cayman Islands was also founded. 1971 saw the cadastral survey began, ensuring that all land was registered. In 1972, the new constitution was introduced, under which Cayman is governed by a legislative assembly, executive council, and a governor. The Cayman currency was introduced. The Humane Society began operations, and the Lions Club of Grand Cayman was chartered. In 1973, Cayman's first radio station opened at ICCI. ICCI FM served as a training workshop for broadcasting students at the International College of the Cayman Islands. In 1975, the National Council of Social Service, later renamed the National Council of Voluntary Organizations, was founded, along with the Kiwanis Club of Grand Cayman being chartered. In 1976, Radio Cayman began broadcasting, and the first Pirates Week Festival was held. 1979 saw Cayman Water Company Limited begin producing desalinated water at its Governor's Harbor plant. The launch of the Boys Brigade and the annual census report showed a population boom to 16,677.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy. where we care about your health.
Every day in the Cayman Islands, nonprofits and their volunteers work tirelessly, improving our communities and the lives of the people within them.
With GiversPlanet.com, you can make a difference by supporting a fundraising effort or starting your own. Givers Planet provides an online solution to conveniently raise money for your worthy cause. Whether you are fundraising for medical needs, education, animal welfare, youth programs, religious missions, school PTA efforts, or a nonprofit.
Simply create your fundraiser at GiversPlanet.com and spread the word to your local and international supporters so that they can visit and make a secure online donation. Start fundraising online today with GiversPlanet.com.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now, reach wow. You say you need some money, JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vampt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vampt Motors, Walkers Road.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet, but we will have guests after 8 o'clock news. We'll be talking about Child Month as well. I'm searching for an article here that I wanted to share with you and talking about Caymankind. And in that Tradewinds newspaper, there is an article in the Savannah News. Here we go. Here it is. Tradewinds newspaper, the 5th of May, 1966. And in the Savannah News section of that, this is really Caymankind, huh? Says Savannah News, Savannah United Church, through this medium, wishes to acknowledge their grateful thanks and appreciation to Mr. Clive V. Borden, who started to collect money from his shipmates on board the SS or Chief for the purpose of helping to have a new building erected in the District of Savannah. And then it goes on to list the following persons who contributed. Now, folks, remember now, 1966. I don't believe that able-bodied seamen and ordinary seamen were even making $100 base pay at that time. It's probably less than that, or it may have been $100. If anyone from that era, 1966, who sailed, if you know what the base pay was then, I'd be happy to hear from you to share that, but you'd have to do it before 8 o'clock. But I will say that so that no one thinks that what these individuals donated from the SS or chief was any pittance, because you have to take into account the salary that they were making. Of course, we know that most persons were able to probably even double their base salary by working overtime, depending on what route you worked on and what type of ship. If you were on an oil tanker, then you got a lot more overtime, because demucking the tanks after you have offloaded your cargo of oil in one port, then on your way back to pick up the other cargo, you demuck the tanks, clean them for the next shipment of oil. So the following is the list of those persons who contributed to that fund. Mr. B.A. Powell, not sure what the initials stand for, $10. Mr. E. Clark, $2. Mr. E. McFeel, $5. Mr. V. Prendergast, $2. Mr. J. Hurlston, $2. Mr. G. Lonhoy, $2. And that doesn't sound like a Caymanian name, but most likely that was another foreign national on board the Old Chief who would have contributed as well. Mr. W. Dilbert, $2. Mr. E. Connor, $1. Mr. I. Cannings, not another Caymanian name, but $1. Mr. Farbut, $1. Mr. E. Rivers, $1. Mr. Clive Borden, $30. Another officer, $10. Mr. K. Connolly, $1, for a total amount of $70 that was donated. So we see those amounts like $10 and $30 were probably coming from persons who were officers on board the ship, or chief, because they would have made much more money than the ordinary sailors or the able-bodied seamen, or the BR, or the what you used to call the messmen who served in the galley. So they would have paid more. So the article goes on to say again, we say a big thank you, and may God bless you all. They go on to talk about the fact that one recent donation received Mr. and Mrs. Calvin Jackson, £5. Mr. and Mrs. William Jackson, £2, in memory of Mr. and Mrs. Monroe Jackson, £5, and the full amount collected was £241, 12 shilling and 8 pence, 1966. But that, folks, Caymankind, and you saw the sailors and national bulk carriers, and based on those names, no doubt even those who were non-Caymanians were able to contribute. Here's another one. You don't see this as often now, and I'm going to have to read this one real quick, Miss Susan, to make sure I don't go over our 8 o'clock news. But CL Flowers and Company, been around a long, long time, and despite some who have tried to challenge them in the block building business, none have been able to do so. So they issued a notice in the Trade Winds newspaper in 1966. Messrs. CL Flowers and Sons wish to offer their apologies through this medium for not being able at this time to supply all the concrete blocks ordered by their customers. The present output still comes from the old plant, and the machine is not capable of increasing production. The new machine, which is capable of producing 12,000 blocks a day, will be in operation within a few weeks. The delay is caused through a short shipment of a few small parts. These parts have been ordered by air freight. As soon as the plant goes into operation, all our orders, regardless of the number or size, will be executed without delay. It is envisaged that this mass production will suffice the island's need in development demands for many years to come. Please remember, for quality concrete blocks and reliable trucking services, see CL Flowers and Sons at the junction of North, Sound, and Crew Road. That's one of our anchor companies in the Cayman Islands that is still around, and may I say proudly, still Caymanian owned. What a good juncture for us to take the 8 o'clock news. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Hello, with your 8 o'clock morning news, I'm Dion Anglin. The National Roads Authority has announced that the new temporary road layout along the Lymphate Pearson Highway is now in effect as the lane widening project continues. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
The NRA says the temporary road layout on Lymphate Pearson will offer some much-needed congestion relief, while the new lanes and larger roundabout are being constructed. Crews began working on the project on Monday, March 14th, and expect to be complete by the end of the second quarter of 2023. Once complete, the project will see a widening of the road from 2 travel lanes to 6 travel lanes between Agnes Way Roundabout and the traffic signal at Bobby Thompson Way and Smith Road. The road will feature a raised grass median along with enhanced drainage and street lighting. The NRA says updates on the progress of the project will be provided in order to keep motorists informed about possible interruptions to the routine traffic flow within the area. You are cautioned to take extra care when passing through the construction area. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
Thank you, April. The Spring Labor Force Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office begins today. Here's Radio Cayman's Paula Cal.
The Labor Force Survey seeks to collect data on employed and unemployed persons in the Cayman Islands, as well as those who are not in the labor force. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will administer the surveys to approximately 2,000 randomly selected households. These interviewers will exercise appropriate COVID-19 protocols using personal protective equipment. The ESO thanks the households who have already participated in the previous surveys, as well as the 2021 Population and Housing Census, and is asking for the support of the general public in this spring 2022 exercise. The data collected is kept in the strictest confidence as mandated by the Statistics Act of 2016 revision. Individual data will not be published or used outside of the ESO and is exempted from the Freedom of Information Act. For further information on any aspect of the survey or results of previous surveys, contact the Economics and Statistics Office at 516-332-949-0940 or visit www.eso.ky. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Paula Cal.
Thank you, Paul. In other local news, earlier this month, instructors from the RCIPS Training and Development Unit hosted a group of compliance officers from Workforce Opportunities Cayman, along with a customs officer from Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control for a week-long course on interview technique skills. The course covered topics including the meaning and admissibility of evidence, statement writing, and suspect interviewing, along with practical exercises that gave the participants an opportunity to show the skills they had learned. Now for a look at news from around the world, here's the BBC.
I'm Debbie Russ with the BBC News. Iran has strongly condemned the trial in Sweden of an Iranian official charged with being involved in the execution of a large number of prisoners in the 1980s. The Iranian Foreign Ministry says the arrest and trial of Hamid Nouri is illegal and is demanding his release. The prosecution says the executed prisoners were members of the People's Mujahideen of Iran, an exiled opposition organisation which Tehran considers a terrorist group. Lawyers defending Mr. Nouri have denied he was present at the alleged killings. The European Union has accused Apple of abusing its dominant market position in mobile payments by limiting access to key technology for rivals to its Apple Pay system. The EU's Commissioner for Competition, Margrethe Vestager, said mobile payments played a rapidly growing role in the digital economy. She said that if the EU's findings on Apple's conduct were confirmed, it would be illegal under competition rules. Apple said its payment system was only one of many options. Security forces in Ethiopia have fired tear gas in the capital Addis Ababa as people tried to disrupt prayers marking the end of the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan. Tens of thousands of Muslims had gathered in Meskel Square. Hannah Tamuari has the latest.
Monday's violence in the capital is likely to escalate tensions. Images of people running away from tear gas and mothers desperately looking for their children in the chaos are widely circulated on social media. Addis Ababa police blamed a few individuals for the violence and said properties were damaged. They vowed to conduct a thorough investigation.
The Moroccan Justice Ministry says King Mohammed has pardoned 29 people jailed for terrorism or extremism offences in a gesture to mark the end of Ramadan. 23 of those pardoned will be freed, while the remaining 6 will have their sentences reduced.
The BBC's Debbie Ross taking us out of Radio Cayman's 8 o'clock morning news. I'm Dion Anglin.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
This is a CUC advisory. Due to a required pole replacement, customers on Hurst Road in Newlands from the junction with J. Hubert Drive north to the Coast Guard headquarters, including all of North Sound Estate and all side roads, will experience interruption to their electrical service on Wednesday, May 4th, between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email at service@cuc.ky.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course, Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure, 29.95 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 7 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate easterly winds along with slight to moderate seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as a high-pressure system moves over the western Atlantic Ocean. Satellite images show a few low clouds over the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now, the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of late morning through afternoon showers, and temperatures will rise to the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will dip to the mid-70s, Tonight, winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Today's high tide will be this morning at 9:38, low tide this afternoon at 6 minutes past 4, and a high tide again tonight at 10 minutes after 11. The sun will set this evening at 6:47 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:56. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through tomorrow night.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course, Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. Traffic on Crew Road heading to Georgetown is busy, and busy traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, as well as on Agnes Way. Slight delays expected and a lot of patience needed this morning, but you're going to get to your final destination. Edward Street traffic is moving along pretty good, as well as on Godfrey Dixon Way and Eastern Avenue. In and out of Georgetown on Sheridan Road, not looking too bad as traffic flowing nicely. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. Schoolhouse Road, Eastern Avenue, flowing pretty good. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again. At about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock, we'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good. Wow. Sensational. Delicious.
Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. for a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
The Health Services Authority's new pharmacy is now open at the Smith Road Medical Center. The new location features a large, comfortable waiting area and ticketing system to improve the patient experience. All uncollected prescriptions and refill requests previously submitted will now be available for collection at the Smith Road Pharmacy. Request your refills online at hsa.ky via WhatsApp 925-6532 or call 244-2715. For more information about our pharmacy hours, visit hsa.ky.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cable.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
It's in our name. Fried chicken, it's our thing. Others may try, but we have the original. We put the extra and extra crispy. And our secret in everyone's mouth. So if we want to make the best chicken sandwich, we just need to put our name on it. New Kentucky Chicken Sandwich. An abundant triple-breaded filet, premium mayo and pickles, all in a buttered brioche bun. The best chicken sandwich had to be KFC.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As you know earlier, I pointed out to you that the month of May, Child Month, celebrated here in the Cayman Islands as well. And we will be talking about Child Month in the Cayman Islands as well as other areas in the Ministry of Investment, Innovation, and Social Development. And it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Minister Andre Ebanks, whose constitutional responsibility is for the Ministry of Investment, Innovation, and Social Development. Also in the studio with me, Miss Paulinda Mendoza-Williams, who is the Director of Children and Family Services. I believe it's still called that, right? Yeah. And we also have with us Miss Nicola Quinlan, and she is the
Social work manager.
Social work manager in the ministry as well. So I want to say good morning to all of you. Welcome back to For the Record. None of you are strangers in the studio as well. And thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Now, Minister Andre Ebanks, we know that you have a limited time with us, because you have other commitments, and we're going to start off with you. I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping and let our listening audience know that at this point in time, we're not going to take any calls because we want to get into the meat of the topic, and later on during the course of the show, we will be able to open it up, for phone calls. But at this point in time, we want to talk about it. So, Minister Ebanks, International Child Month, celebrated here in the Cayman Islands the last couple of years. Restrictions because of COVID this year is a little different. Tell tell us about it. Let's talk about the theme and what that represents as well, sir.
Good morning to you, OC. Am I coming through?
Yes,
and your headphones
yes,
loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Good morning, Cayman, and good morning to Caymanians overseas. Although we're here to talk about Child Month, I'm just going to briefly depart to the other side of the age spectrum and give special condolences to the family of Miss Ethel, who passed.
Oh, yes.
At the age of 104. I understand it was a gentle passing. She had a long, full life. She recently just celebrated a birthday on the 21st of April.
Mentioned it here on the record.
Same birthday as the Queen.
Yes.
And so I was happy that she at least had one more joyous birthday in which she was as sharp as ever, asked about politics, said who hadn't come across. So she was as sharp as ever. So a very remarkable life. I want to say special condolences to the family.
Definitely, yeah.
But it's a reminder about the other end of the age spectrum, was why we have to take care of the children, because eventually, if the Lord grants us, we'll all, as Pastor Sean Knight said yesterday, Lord grants us this, maybe not as long as Miss Ethel, but we'll eventually get to the stage where we have to have the children, who are the future custodians of the country, take care of us. So we have a vested interest in taking care of the children. And so that leads us to our theme of building wellness with our children, which is the theme this month. We are aware that there are several challenges globally, there's several challenges locally, but it seems fitting at this point to discuss the children and what we can do to keep them whole, particularly in the issue of mental health. So I'm sure you might be thinking wellness is a pretty big word. What is encompassed by wellness? What are the components that we're looking at? And you will see from DCFS calendar of events. And please, ladies, do jump in whenever you like. Don't let me be a mic hog. There, as far as I can see, deduced from the calendar, we're focused on spiritual wellness. And we had an amazing kickoff event yesterday at the Church of God Chapel in Frankstown. Absolutely uplifting and inspiring.
Excellent.
There's a group there called the Fusion Youth Group. Incredible performance. They can sing and they can dance. They're responsible. They can quote scripture. Absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And if I looked at them, and I said this in the remarks that I gave, is we can get our youth around the country all at charging at that capacity and that standard. Amazing. Absolute future is amazing.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that we had a very good sermon yesterday from Pastor Sean Knight.
Okay.
And he made several points that I think tie in here to spiritual wellness, about us being able to, what was it said? Ready, aim, fire. That you have to be able to ready the children. You have to aim them in a particular direction. Founded on the rock of the Bible, so that when the headwinds come, this is what spiritual wellness means, they have the spiritual fortitude to push through and charge ahead and fire. And that's pretty much what we mean by spiritual wellness, including the church. On that note, this is pure coincidence. Well, it's not coincidence. Maybe it's the Lord speaking. I was invited last night. So I started the morning with you all, and I ended the evening with the Seaside Sisters, who had a concert in West Bay at Wesleyan.
Okay.
Different demographic, the other end of the age spectrum. But it was absolutely inspiring. And I just thought for a second, and I only really went because a really good friend of mine, cousin, Miss Esther Pat Ebanks, invited me. So I really went in support of her. I didn't really know exactly what to expect. But I left uplifted. I left inspired by those songs. And I just thought as I was sitting there, you could combine that group, different, more advanced age bracket, with the Youth Fusion group or other youth groups, and we have a concert, and the proceeds go to the benefit of what these organizations are seeking to achieve, whether it's to refurbish the church hall, whether it's to create a community center. That's really what we're trying to achieve with spiritual wellness. and bring the community together. So the department is leading the way in terms of Child Month and their calendar events, and these educated ladies will get into that. But the point is that really this is just so really to, as I mentioned yesterday at the church service, to spark the community. It's not just for this for us to feel good for this month and then it just die on the vine. Yes. It's really for us to take up the challenge and lead the way for the entire year. So that's one thing that I would love to see. Another component is what we refer to as occupational wellness, where you're trying to recognize that and give someone personal satisfaction of their enhancements and their achievements. Physical wellness, that one's obvious in terms of nutrition and exercise. There are events that are targeted towards that. Social wellness, so you're able to learn how to interact and mingle and go through this world. Intellectual wellness, to try to enhance the thought and the newness that the new opportunities that are out there in terms of, say, like robotics and STEM, and get minds moving in a direction that's going to be headed to the future. Because, I mean, everyone says it, I mean, but it's no joke. I mean, my son can run my devices better than me now. It's getting scary. So what do we do with that? You have to actually be able to harness that and turn that and monetize that so that individuals can then take part and lead the future economy. And then emotional wellness. This is a big one. This ties into mental wellness. One of the most powerful caucus presentations that I've seen in this administration was by the Alex Panton Foundation when they addressed caucus. Again, to see the level of meticulous thinking of the country's current challenges and what they didn't just come to just describe the issues. They actually came with potential solutions. So to see that and get that feedback directly to inform policy was moving in a way that it has probably for me speaking personally, that was probably the most powerful caucus presentation I've seen since being a minister. And it's important because a lot of what they're dealing with is what we're calling here as emotional wellness, is mental wellness. I mean, there's all sorts of challenges in terms of interactions, physical, in-person interactions at school, but then in the advent of social media, you also have cyberbullying that's happening. These things are painful, they're hurtful, and we have to be able to figure out ways in which that you're equipped to deal with them when they come, when the headwinds come.
Yes.
So I said a lot. I'll pause there. You may have a question.
Well, you have definitely expanded on the definition of wellness and what that means, as well, and we'd be curious to know the how this theme that you have, which is building wellness with our children, how that ties in with some of the policy initiatives that your ministry as well as the administration is working on. How does this theme tie in with that?
That's an excellent question. From our ministry's perspective, we're not only just going to build wellness by these events and by community activity, but you're right in the sense that it has to also be driven by policy. So from our ministry standpoint, we're looking at amendments to revamp the Adoption Act because it's not in sync with international standards. The ministry has met on several occasions with the current adoption board that is a wealth of knowledge. Nicole, you're still secretary? Or no, but you were at the time.
I was, yes, for several years.
You see the look on her face? Suffice to say, it could use a refresh, right?
Yes, it could.
It could, right? To put it diplomatically. So that's one of the areas in which we're trying to drive forward. We're also looking at amendments to the Children's Act to be able to bring in provisions that have more to do with child safeguarding, foster care, placement of children, which is a huge topic right now. Nicole just was sharing with me last week that we have capacity issues in terms of foster care, which can happen if the department is trying really hard to place a child, and then there's no one to place a child, then the social work can't advance, can't move forward. Right. And then there's a large body of work that's happening in relation to child safeguarding. So there are initiatives that place the Child Safeguarding Board, and I believe, Linda, you're part of that effort as well, right?
Yes.
So those are the areas from our ministry standpoint that we're really trying to move forward. And then, of course, with the sister department, the Needs Assessment Unit, of revamping the, hate saying it, Poor Persons Relief Law, and having our Financial Assistance Act, which has done several rounds of extensive consultation from a lot of groups, not just government CIG entities, but also external stakeholders, clients, landlords, youth groups, mental health professionals. So that piece of legislation is nearing its conclusion of a final draft to actually do more public consultation and hopefully bring the bill to the House. So those, from our perspective, is where we see all of those have a tie-in to children.
Okay, that's a good juncture for us to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to hear from Ms. Paulinda Mendoza-Williams, the Director of Children and Family Services. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers and the motoring public of planned works to upgrade the water supply infrastructure along Grackle Road off Godfrey Nixon Way. Preliminary work began the week of 18 April, and the project will continue through mid-May. Work will take place on weekdays between 7:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. Traffic management measures will be in place during the works, with signs directing the traffic flow. Motorists are encouraged to drive with caution when in the area to protect their safety and the safety of the Water Authority's staff. Customers in the area may experience outages throughout the work. The authority will make every effort to give advance notice related to outages. Customers can visit our website, www.waterauthority.ky, for outage notices. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it undertakes these works and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Minister Andre Ebanks, Director of Children and Family Services, Ms. Paulinda Mendoza-Williams, and also with us, Ms. Quinlan, Nicole Quinlan is with us as well. So, promised you before that we would hear from the Director, Ms. Paulinda. Good morning, ma'am. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning again, sir, and thanks for having us.
Okay, tell us about some of the activities for Child Month. We heard the minister talk about what took place yesterday, with the church service as well, and I'm sure that there are so many other things, in place as well. And once you have the mic, any other area that you want to touch on, feel free to do so.
So yes, as the minister shared earlier, we launched Child Month 2022 with a church service at the Church of God Chapel in Frank Sound. And again, a big shout out to Pastor Knight and the Fusion Youth Group and the congregation there. That service was truly a blessing. And certainly, as the minister spoke on also, we're talking about wellness for the month, but it doesn't stop here. Anything that we do related to Child Month, we always promote and request that persons continue to foster whatever themes we are presenting for that year. But definitely for this year, building wellness with our children, it's something that's quite critical when we look at what we've experienced over the last 2 years, going on 3 years, with a global pandemic, something we never thought that we would see in this lifetime. And as adults, we know how this situation has affected us. We can only imagine how it has affected our children. When we talk about wellness, we have to take a holistic approach, because it's not just, taking your kids to the doctor. When you have a child, you have to go and do all the checkups, the immunization. All of those things are physical, that you can see. And, the child would say that, they have a pain here or whatever. But when you think of the emotional and the mental side of wellness, even us as adults, we don't talk about that much less our children. So we're looking at the child from head to toe, right arm, right foot, left foot, the entire child, in terms of what are the components that build and make a child who will be productive, who will grow into a contributing member of this society, who will be able to take care of us, God spare us, that we lived to see Miss Ethel's age, and to be able to lead this country. So if we don't invest in our children from now, take care of them, build their wellness, physical, educational, social, intellectual, their mental health, we are going to be staring down a road that will not be very pretty. And from a department, from a government, from a minister perspective, we continue to be dedicated to support, promote, provide information, and just provide services that we will be able to produce and foster healthy, holistic, healthy children who will take up the mantle to lead this country. So you asked the question, how did we come up with the theme? Yes. I will ask Nicole to share, as she was on the committee, how we came up with the theme. I would dare say that I know a lot of the conversation was around the last 2 years of dealing with a pandemic. Not only that, also seeing how emotional health impacts our young people. We have had tragic situations over the last couple of years with suicides. And as a country, as a nation, it is our responsibility to get to the root cause of that and implement laws, policies, and services that we can happily say that our children are leading healthy lives.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Paulinda. I want to start by saying that we are celebrating 26 years of Child Month.
Wow.
For 26 years, the department, along with this country, is celebrating our children and making sure that we have themes, making sure that we have activities that are surrounded, that are for them, but include them. Right? Building wellness with our children, that was a theme that we mulled over. We wanted to, of course, address mental health, but we thought a child doesn't need just mental health. We don't need to just focus on that. We need to focus on the entire body. So as Ms. Paulinda alluded to, we talked about this image of a child. So we have the mental health, the emotional health with the head. For the body, we have the nutrition. For the arms, we have creativity and occupational wellness. For the legs, we're talking about physical wellness also, but also spirituality, right? It's the entire wellness that's going to make that next politician. That's going to make the next department head.
That next Andre Ebanks.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Go further than me. Go further than me.
So that's what, as a committee, we wanted to work on. And one of the things I want to say, too, is that we've expanded this year in that we are making sure that we are engaging all our partner agencies so that we're all sitting at the table. How can we make this Child Month bigger, better? How can we make it more impactful? Right? So we have a Family Resource Center, we have HSA. All these people are putting together to make this, to provide information, to provide a resource, to provide clarity to the questions that the country has. Right? We're going to be on later on today on Radio Cayman.
Yes.
And we're going to be partnering with the Wellness Center to talk about resiliency and coping skills. So we're starting there, right? We have Snug. I didn't mention earlier, but Cayman BRAC is involved. Right? We never forget the BRAC.
Can't forget the BRAC.
So they also have activities catered to their population, and that's also on the calendar, which we will be hopefully able to share with everyone later on this afternoon.
Okay. Now, Minister Ebanks, I know you have to leave us soon, so we're going to turn the mic back over to you so that you can continue to share and to give us your closing comments before you leave us as well.
Thank you. Thank you for remembering. When the department composed the theme, to my mind, it was completely fitting. And I just thought to myself, wow, if I was still the DCO, I would have thought that's a good theme. Because if you think about what the country and what the world has gone through, that's kind of the plea that I heard from the Alex Panton Foundation, both at their symposium, I think you were listening or you were there, and then also for their presentation to caucus that I mentioned earlier, is they're asking, how do you build us? How do you take us forward? So I think that the theme is just right. I think the activities from what I've seen from the calendar are just right. But I think it's a point worth repeating that this is really to spark these types of activities and not to die at the end. So it comes 31st May. Don't want to see people just pack up and say, well, Child Month is done. Okay, see you next year. Even though it is the 26th year, it's really to have this inspired and motivated all year round. And I want to pick up on a point that Nicole made in terms of the connectivity between inter-ministries and inter-departments. That's hugely important, not just for the services and the physical activities, but as I mentioned earlier, in terms of the policies that were in legislation that we're making. Because a different department will look at a piece of legislation that our ministry has produced or a different ministry and then raise a whole range of issues and thought, well, if this would have been passed that day, we would have missed things. And it might not have been as smooth and as efficient and seamless as it should have been. So I really want to thank not just our ministry and our department, but all the other ministries that have a connectivity to social development or in the social development space. So I think, although there are challenges, I would leave the country with thinking that there is so much still to be thankful for, to be hopeful for when you look around at other countries. Our sister OT, the BVI, I'm praying for them. They have an enormous challenge on their hands. There is matters that will have to be taken up in court. But if you take your hard look around, you still have to be thankful for the Cayman Islands, but that does not mean that we rest on our laurels and that we don't tackle head on the issues that we have here. So thank you for the time.
Thank you for being here as well, folks. This is a good juncture for us to take a commercial break to allow Minister Ebanks his exit, from the studio as well. I want to thank him, for being here, and certainly his leadership in the ministry goes a long way in terms of their dedication and paving the way forward. And I like that emphasis on the fact that, Child Month doesn't end at the end of May. That it continues. It's lifelong endeavor and a lifelong journey that we are on. As well. And we're going to talk more about that with Miss Paulinda and Miss Quinlan, when we return as well, because we want to talk about how you continue throughout the year, how you collaborate with other agencies to ensure that things work as smoothly as they should, how we also want to celebrate those who have been successful, because we all the time hear about the negative stories, things occurring in schools, and we're not placing as much emphasis on the positive as we should, while at the same time ensuring that those who are challenged, those who are more vulnerable, that full attention is paid to them as well. So with that, we'll take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly, so please stay tuned.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now, reach wow. You say you need some money, JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
It's time to celebrate Mother's Day with savings at A.L. Thompson's. You can save 15% on housewares and 20% on select KitchenAid countertop appliances now through Saturday, May 7. Take advantage of this spring promotion and purchase essential and luxury items in the Home Fashions Gallery of our Georgetown store. Visit the Appliance Gallery to select a KitchenAid blender, coffee maker, toaster, hand mixer, multi-cooker, and food processor. Happy Mother's Day from A.L. Thompson's.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Remaining in the studio with me until 9 o'clock, the Director of Children and Family Services, Ms. Paulinda Mendoza Williams, and Miss Nicole, I don't know why I have the A on it. Miss Nicole Quinlan. So I want to remind our listening audience that the theme for this year's Child Month is building wellness with our children. And earlier we heard, the expanded definition of wellness, not restricted to just one area, but the whole body, as well. So we want to talk, we'll mention some of the other things that will be happening during Child Month, and you folks will be on the air, I'm sure, quite a bit during Child Month, and there will be so many activities, going on as well, and everything pointed in a positive direction, you know.
Absolutely. And as we were talking before in terms of our partnerships and collabs with other agencies, public and private, that is something that the department does continuously. We know that we can't do it alone, and we need to partner with other stakeholders who are able to just complement or foster any needed services that we need them to provide to our children and families. But also to say that when you look at as a country, again, 26 years of Child Month speaks to how the country sees children and the value in terms of the investment, because these events cost money, and I'm not saying that money is the end all and be all, but from a government perspective, there's a significant investment that's placed into having these activities. Again, we have sponsors and donors, and I'd just like to say a shout out to all of those persons over the years that have donated to the cause of Child Month and have made it a success, whether it be cash or just through service. But just to follow on to that, so we take the care of our children very seriously. The minister spoke about the various pieces of legislation that we're looking at to enhance how we support our children and families, how we ensure that their rights are not left unaddressed. And in doing so, again, it is a continuous cycle of promoting the importance of safeguarding our children, of ensuring their holistic wellness is taken care of in order to build a nation of productive and successful adults. We talk about the calendar. The calendar is full of lots of fun events for both the children and parents and the community caregivers, so it's open to everyone. There are some events that are invitation only. But again, we have our district game nights within the month. Of course, it's going to be loads of fun. There's going to be prizes. We encourage our families to come out with the kids. Again, this is another way of supporting wellness. We tend to drop our kids off at events rather than staying there with them and being a part of it, seeing what they're doing, engaging with the fun. Social wellness basically is what this is, you know, showing them how to interact with others, building relationships. So lots of district game nights. We also have a virtual scavenger hunt that we brought online in 2020 when we weren't able to, when we were on lockdown. And I must say that was quite an enjoyable event, and we have kept it on the calendar. So again, using the world of social media, I know at times we tend to say to our children, come off of these devices, but they can be used for positive interaction, and we're using that for the virtual scavenger hunt. We have a movie night. We've partnered with Kamana Bay for a movie night. Again, it's fostering, you know, events for children, but ensuring that families are able to enjoy these events. Again, for social wellness, it is important. It sets the tone of how your children learn to interact with individuals. It sets the tone in terms of dealing with confrontation, conflict, appropriate behaviors. So that it is quite important that, you know, families remain involved and together in activities.
And with that, I want to say that there is a family yoga and meditation night in Cayman Brac.
Okay, great.
So Cayman Brac has done a lot of things to actually bring the family together and have family-friendly activities. They also have the mandala painting. ADRA is also having a family fun day in the Brac.
Okay.
Right, so these are all these things that are bringing families together and encouraging them not to just drop off.
Yeah, and I was thinking that children reach a certain age where they don't want to see their parents dropping them off. You know, they want to sort of shy away from the parent. But that doesn't mean that that parent still can't be there and maybe interact with other children who may have apprehensions and get accustomed to talking to someone else other than their parent. So when they come there, they don't necessarily have to interact with their own children, but to interact with others who are there as well.
But I also think it's so whilst the activities are it's only for 1 month. I think it's an opportunity to earmark these events just for this month, to be able to enjoy with those older children. Yes. A lot of the events, or the majority of the events, are quite age inclusive. So it's not just for the younger ones, and we're very mindful of that, because sometimes we'll cater to a more younger group, forgetting our preteens and teenagers. But I do believe that the events are quite age appropriate across the range. But definitely, as you said, parents, guardians, caregivers, whoever, can stay and again be of support to others, the younger ones maybe, in these events that we're having.
Okay. If I may, before and I'll give you the mic in a second, but just before we close off, at some point in time, the minister and you spoke about the challenges with foster care, and if at some point in time you could mention that again, and maybe those persons who are listening, if there's an interest out there, how can they go about it? Some of the challenges that you're facing, and how the public can assist in that area as well.
And it's good that you mentioned that, because there's actually a foster care drive in the BRAC on the calendar now.
Oh, okay.
So we recognize the need for foster parents, and we are doing our best to promote what foster parenting is about, why we need foster care, and why we need parents to step forward and provide homes for children. So we're doing that in the BRAC, we're doing that in Grand Cayman, but we're also doing a foster parent appreciation dinner. Right, saying thank you. Thank you for opening your lives. Thank you for parenting a child who is not yours. Thank you for recognizing that children are in need and stepping forward. Right. If anybody wants to be a foster parent, to please email us at fostercare.gov.ky. All one word. Other than that, you can call 9490290. Right. Following on, we talk about it's Child Month, but we also have an event called Intergenerational Cooking. Right. So we've gotten I'm going to go with the older population to teach the younger population how to cook traditional Cayman meals. And that's going to be live streamed also. So we're partnering with Lighthouse School for that. So we're making sure that we are also very inclusive. We have the Locked In event in Cayman BRAC. So that is targeted just for preteens and teens. Right, we're making sure that everybody has a little bit of something to do.
Yes.
Right. Before we go, I do want to talk a little bit about our partners. So, and this list is ever growing, because as we continue throughout the month, more people want to step forward.
That's great.
And we're
That's
encouraging
excellent.
people, if you want to sponsor certain events, please give us a call and do so. All right, 949-0290, because everything costs. We're partnering with the Wellness Center, Alex Pounton Foundation, HSA, right? Department of Youth and Sports, the Youth Services Unit, the National Gallery, Youth Flex. We are having on the 18th of May, the Youth Flex is targeting with the youth ambassadors. The conversation that they're going to be having is social media and cyberbullying. And we're also partnering with cybersecurity with government to act as an expert in the field. So to also address cyberbullying and security. We're working with Kirk Supermarket, Hurley's, Foster's. They're also doing specials. They're doing videos regarding healthy living. DART, BPW, ADRA. These are some of the many organizations that we are partnering with Family Resource Center. They're doing a webinar at the end of the month.
Okay.
So we're making sure that we are building wellness through all the different areas.
Excellent.
I think one of the things that I just want to touch on, Nicole spoke about the intergenerational event. Again, this is something that we try to keep going both in Child Month and in Older Persons Month. But going back to the whole approach to building wellness, what is important as well is that we build cultural wellness in our children. Because if our children do not know who they are, they will not know where they are going.
Yes.
And I think that is something that not only as a department, but again, partnering with other relevant agencies, how do we build cultural wellness in our children, letting them know their history, the history of these islands and how it has impacted where we are now and how it will impact where we are going. Yes. The spiritual side, again, just going back to yesterday's church service, and I tie spiritual and cultural in because we are a country based whose foundation is laid on spirituality, i.e. Christianity.
Yes.
And again, if our children are not in tune with spirituality, despite their religious belief, background, denomination, we're going to lose a lot of them to other things that may not be very productive or worthwhile in life. So again, Child Month happens in May, but we continue to push forward and promote that these activities, these themes that we've celebrated over 26 years, don't just stop at the end of May. It is food for thought and planning on the way forward as we embrace wellness and any other theme that we've had over the years. As a country, we need to practice healthy behaviors and attitudes of wellness. And that is also, I mean, we could sit here all morning and talk about those healthy behaviors and attitudes are. But if we don't model them for our children, they're not going to embrace them. Because the saying goes, do as I say, not as I do. No longer is that a reality.
Yeah, okay. Well, ladies, we look forward to hearing more from you. And like you said, you're going to be back on today, as well. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. Headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, we will have the mics open because our guests have other commitments at this point in time. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after headline news.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Presumed armed and dangerous 23-year-old Justin Kyle Jackson is still on the run from police after an incident on West Bay Road Friday where another man was arrested. A gun was seized from a vehicle during the height of rush hour. A photo of the wanted man is posted on Radio K-Man's Facebook and Instagram pages. If you see him, don't approach him directly. You're advised to call 911. Good morning, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. 8 people have died, including 6 children, after a fire tore through scores of homes near the Philippines' capital, Manila, officials there have said. The blaze on Sunday also destroyed 80 homes. It began on the second floor of a house in a crowded settlement inside the sprawling campus of the University of the Philippines in Quezon City. The cause of the blaze is unknown. And 3 new photographs of Princess Charlotte have been released to mark her 7th birthday today. The pictures were taken by her mother, the Duchess of Cambridge, in Norfolk this weekend. They show the smiling princess sitting among bluebells and, in one photo, hugging her pet Cocker Spaniel Orla. She is 4th in line to the throne and is the only daughter of Catherine and the Duke of Cambridge, also parents to Prince George and Prince Louis. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio K-Man on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio K-Man app or log on to our website, radiokman.gov.ky.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio K-Man.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. You heard about Child Month being celebrated in the Cayman Islands. Started yesterday with a church service at the Church of God in Frank Sound. And we heard, all of the positives coming from that service as well. And as the minister and the director and Ms. Nicole pointed out to everyone that Child Month, while it is called Child Month, the whole impetus behind our concerns and our support for children does not end at the end of May. It is a journey that continues throughout the year, and it'll continue because those children will get older, more children will come along. The challenges as well as the opportunities will be there, and we need to continue to have dedicated persons like the minister, like the director, like Ms. Quinlan, to support the most vulnerable, the most important, and of course the future of these islands as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, We'll see. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Great, thanks. I'm sorry your guests had to leave. I guess I know they're busy, but hopefully they'll be back on and or listen to what I have to say later on, my comments.
Okay, and they'll be back on later on to talk today as well. I believe it is today, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just quickly, in terms of the youth, there is a lot that we could talk about, of course, but I'd just like to touch on a few small points, quick points.
Sure. Take your time.
First of all, I was very happy many years ago, over 2 decades ago, to be part of the team that created the National Youth Commission and National Youth Policy.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, both of those things seem to be either on the back burner or on hold somewhere. I haven't heard about them for years. So that is the key. That is what ties into the Declaration of Rights of Children. All those things that determine how and what should be done for children. So I really hope that is reactivated soon. But speaking directly about children, these days, as they say, I think the kids are being jerked up in terms of they're expected to mature too quickly. I remember guys playing with kites, flying kites and playing marbles when I was in high school. These days, that seems to be done from primary school. But we need to allow our children more time. For instance, the issue of the year 12 in public high schools, I think, needs to be revisited, because the children, after they leave year 11, they're told they have to spend year 12 outside of the school environment. But yes, they also have the choice to go to the university college or to the prep school to do A-levels or to SciFac.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is most of the kids can't, or many of the kids can't function independently at 15 years old, 14, 15, some of them. Most of them graduate around 16. So just to leave them, almost on their own, because their parents are gone to work, they're basically on their own for the days, the few days that they have to go to SciFac or college or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
To manage themselves is not working out for many of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go on to another point.
So you believe that they should actually be in the formal school setting for a longer period of time?
Exactly.
Okay.
I think they should show up to school as usual in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to SciFac, then the bus takes them to SciFac or to the college. They return to the school so that it's a controlled environment where they sign in at a time and they have assistance with transportation. Remember, they can't drive. How do they get from West Bay or East End to the college and the school, which is not on the regular bus route?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At least the buses don't go there usually. But more than that too, they also need to consider their age when they're planning things socially. we have Badabanu and parties and all these things going on. We hear about underage kids drinking in the clubs and going to adult parties and getting in problems. Well, teenagers are full of energy. They want to have fun, right? So I'm not saying that that's wrong. But there's no teen disco. There's no dry party where I can drop off a child at 14, 15, 13 and say, go dance and drink Kool-Aid and eat chips with your friends, eat pizza and relax.
And you're talking about on a continuous basis, because these things do happen occasionally, but not continuously, yeah.
Right. Very rarely they happen. Maybe once every 3-4 months you might hear about one.
Okay.
But, every weekend, I think, or at least every other weekend, there should be something somewhere for kids to go. And I'll touch on another point, which is very important to me also, are the libraries. We have kids studying, we have people in university, people doing lots of online studies. We have people looking for jobs, people, wanting to do resumes, all different reasons why the libraries should be more accessible, especially on the weekends. I think they should open till at least 6 or 7 on Saturdays and at least until 6 on the weeknights, even if they have to rotate staff or whatever. But, to have a resource, I live in West Bay, there's no other way. If you want to go and print a document, print a resume, whatever, or go online, if you don't have internet yourself or bandwidth to do all those things, you're stuck. You're stuck. There's almost nowhere to get it done. So the libraries, not just obviously for reading books and all that, which is great. Right. But they also have a meeting room in West Bay, an enclosed private meeting room for small groups. Lots of great potential there. But anyway, I'll just go on, as you said, the kids definitely need more time in high school. I would also suggest that, especially with the COVID 2 years that were quite messed up, and we all acknowledge that, the officials acknowledge that, academically, they should allow parents the option to repeat, or I think they should just repeat the last year anyway. But I think they should allow at least parents the option to say, yes, my child should repeat. And that shouldn't be just for this year. I think that should be going forward. Not every year you should repeat. Yeah. If you're not up to standard. But considering the age of the kids when they get out of high school, which is, as I say, around 16, give them the option to repeat a year in high school to do better, to focus.
And especially if they're lagging in some areas to basically bring them up to speed,
Exactly. And we have almost no summer schools, so to speak, except, the regular summer camps. But there's no academic program that says, you got a below a D in English and math last year, so guess what? You have to go to summer school. That's common in the U.S. That's common in most developed countries. So the kids need help.
Now, are you aware of, because this is something that I've been thinking about before, the after-school programs? How many after-school programs do we have in the schools where assistance is given, in terms of homework? Because we know that there are some families where children are left on their own. We know that there are some families where the parents themselves are challenged when it comes to assisting. How much of that takes place after school? Are you aware?
Yes, I have a son in high school, so I know that there's quite a bit that happens. Clubs may meet, as you say, there may be other programs. There's not enough formal tutoring, though. Okay. There is some, but there's not enough formal tutoring. Yes, you can go to, different clubs and have fun, but they shouldn't be babysitting services, which is sometimes what they're used for. They should be more serious. Yes, they can have fun, but again, it goes back to the problem I mentioned earlier, which is parents may not finish work till 5:30, get home 6:30, 7. They don't have time to pick up a child at an after-school program that ends at 4:30, 5, because they're still working.
Right.
So it boils down again to transportation. And I know the government is revisiting the whole transportation, the National Transportation Plan. I think students should have free transportation. Students and elderly should have free transportation. Obviously, they cannot drive a car. if they need to go anywhere, to a club or to fun or just go to town, they should be allowed free transportation, I think. So that is something I hope they consider in the transportation plan. And of course the buses need to go on routes, not just the popular the ones that they make the big money on, but they need to go to Walker's Road. They need to go to the places that people want to go, even by the hospital, that are not popular or easy bus routes. You have to walk, most of the time. So it's a complicated story, but or picture, but it's really not. Once everybody does their little part, it can work. And I don't want to hold up your line. I know other people are maybe trying to call, but there's so much more that could be done. I remember when Miss Debbie Sibley's, and myself included, also started a national parenting program.
Okay.
And that was the best, by far the best grassroots program that I've ever seen developed in Cayman. We had district committees, different district meetings. It was about the people determining their own solutions and expressing their needs. But again, that just evaporated. So the foundation is there somewhere, but these things are in dire need of being reactivated or implemented.
Yeah, it is so timely that you mentioned that, because one of our listeners had wrote in while our guests were here. Well, actually, they were leaving at that point, and they wanted to know whether or not there are any regulations on parental responsibility on these islands, and also are there any parental skills training courses available for soon-to-be and new parents on the island? So it's timely that you mentioned, what you were instrumental in developing.
Well, that caller or that writer is correct. There are some programs that DCFS does have, the Department of Children does have family programs occasionally. But really, again, this goes into another realm. But what I would love to see more of, and it was introduced a bit during COVID, are online sessions. Because, Miss Mary Sue or whoever, he is or the parents are, she is, may not be able to attend, 2 days a week of programming, but she can sit at home and participate and engage in a program the same way. These days, Zoom and all these things. So technology needs to be embraced a lot more as well. But there's a definite need. I mean, young parents, when I see them, I give them one piece of advice, if nothing else, because most of us have been there, which is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Because I've been there where, it's, 8 or 9 o'clock on a Saturday night and you're out of Pampers or, diapers, and you're like, oh my God, and you feel like there's no other solution in the world. You may even not have the money to go and buy, a $30 box of Pampers. But there are always people around, I tell them, who are willing to help you if you need help, because we've all been there. So just to enlighten them to that fact that you're not in it alone. Even if you're a single parent, there are ways and means to find some help. And also to connect, because a lot of them feel isolated in those situations as well. But just to have support, someone to talk to is a big need. I won't go into the churches because when I grew up, the churches were doing 90% of that, and now they're doing maybe 10%, if that. But I won't go into that now.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. Certainly appreciate it. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue, so please stay tuned.
Every day in the Cayman Islands, nonprofits and their volunteers work tirelessly, improving our communities and the lives of the people within them.
With GiversPlanet.com, you can make a difference by supporting a fundraising effort or starting your own. Givers Planet provides an online solution to conveniently raise money for your worthy cause. Whether you are fundraising for medical needs, education, animal welfare, youth programs, religious missions, school PTA efforts, or a nonprofit.
Simply create your fundraiser at GiversPlanet.com and spread the word to your local and international supporters so that they can visit and make a secure online donation. Start fundraising online today with GiversPlanet.com.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, so the phone lines are open. One of our listeners has written in and said, I agree with the caller about extra lessons. I think they should use some of the education money for employing extra teachers for tutoring and helping with lessons for especially primary school students, as if they fail, as they fall behind at the beginning of learning, it's very hard for them to catch up when they reach high school. Or maybe the service clubs could assist with tutoring as well as or even student prefects could assist. And certainly agree with that writer. We don't know how much actually takes place in the schools. We heard the previous caller mention the fact that it does occur. What I would say is that if you have a child who's a student, or if you know of someone who has a child who's a student and find themselves falling behind, inquiries should be made at that particular institution to determine what additional help is offered for students to be able to catch up, to be up to speed, if they find that during their daily classes, they're falling behind. Now, there are also private tutors out there, but of course, that does not come cheaply. And whether or not any sort of supplement would be offered by the government if you had to put your child into private tutoring to help them. But again, these are the most vulnerable in our society. These are the most important, and that is why. And they're unable at this point in time to fend for themselves. It is still adults' parental responsibility as well as the government's responsibility to ensure that they are properly educated, and we need to do that. So if you know someone out there who's lagging behind in terms of their keeping up with their classes, inquire from the school. If the service isn't there, for them, inquire as to where it can be done. If it is only in the private sector, then see what assistance Children and Family Services or any other unit may be able to offer as far as assisting you if you're unable to pay. Just my suggestions. Not saying that there's a government program in place to help you financially on that, but every case has its merits, and we used to have the old saying, nothing beats a trial. Nothing beats a failure but a trial as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm blessed. First and foremost, I want to endorse really everything that your last caller spoke of.
Mm-hmm.
It was all so positive and good. I'm sorry that I missed Miss Paulinda and those, but hopefully I'll get to write something in to Sterling, to his show.
Yes.
But I wanted to give some thoughts that I've had, and particularly as Ms. Paulinda was leaving, she had touched on the cultural aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that does something to me. I remember some years ago when I was still at the Cultural Foundation, we had a big concert during the month of older persons, which I believe falls in October each year.
Right.
Now, I've always had this vision of how we can bring the older person and the young child or the younger person together in some sort of intergenerational program, because it's so important. Older persons tend to feel left out, no longer useful, that type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if we could do something to blend that, we could keep the seniors younger and make the young people wiser by being able to share in experiences, share their time. And there's been quite a bit of research on it, actually.
Okay.
There's been a huge amount of research showing that even in the assisted living homes or the care homes for older people, when you have the youngsters coming in, they look forward to it and they plan programs where they can do things together. Just recently, I heard you and Dr. Steve speaking about some of our lost arts, like crochet and stuff like that.
Yes.
What would be wrong with some of our people then sitting? They want to pass on things to youngsters, and whilst not every youngster is interested in where we came from, I'm sure we could light some flames with quite a bit,
Sure.
It would serve twofold. It would help close this generational gap and assist in reducing the marginalization of older adults. Now, when the government, I think the very same department where Paulinda works, had opened this, there was a big, just before the last government went out, there was a huge opening ceremony of the OPAC, the Older Persons Activity Center there, and it was furnished. It was beautiful. It's now been changed over into a COVID vaccination center, I believe, and the programs never ever got off the ground. I couldn't understand why, because we have a way of wanting everything to be so polished and just perfect, but the truth is, just a lovely place, a facility that they had there, some lovely rocking chairs, comfortable things, and a few qualified people to be in there. Older persons are dropped off. Even preschools, they could have outings. They're always looking for activities, for things to do. This could be rotated, and the children, the younger people, and of course different age groups depending on who you're going to see. The little ones just want stories and stuff, and I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I just wish there was a way.
No, but they're great ideas that you're putting forward. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really hope that they'll be able to open this OPAC, open that center. I, for one, would be happy to volunteer and help with things like that. I'm at this strange age, no longer young, but not quite old. I can still do things. I can help.
Yeah. Yes. Was that's where the COVID-19 vaccination was moved to eventually? Was that?
That's where that's what it's being used for. As far as I know, it's still being used for that.
Okay.
But the reason that property was secured by government, and it was outfitted. It was, like I said, there was a huge ribbon cutting, big ceremony, which we're known for. And I'd been there once or twice to see, how things are coming on, but there was always some excuse that, not quite ready, don't have things, whatever. And then COVID came and it became the COVID center.
Yeah, and of course we still have that committee. I think Miss Lucille, I'm not sure if she's still chairman of the committee for older persons.
Well, I'm not sure. I know she spoke a lot about things like that, and there was a house in Georgetown there right behind the Royal Bank that had been, I think it had been donated actually for government, and she had talked about getting something done there. My problem is we're not getting things done. People are getting older. We're missing opportunities. Older Caymanians are just dropping like flies. And even some not so old Caymanians.
So true.
We're losing a lot of our people, and that's my other pet peeve, that we're going to lose all of we're becoming extinct. So the time to do something is now. And I was so happy to hear the minister on this morning. And if he's involved with the month of the child, then maybe the older persons fall under his remit too.
Definitely.
I just think that those two things. And when it becomes months of the older person, it's going to be Ms. Paulinda that you hear on the radio again. So it's not far-fetched to think that we could use the same staff, the same people, to somehow get these two generations to gel, to do things for the mutual benefit. And I think overall it will help the emotional and mental well-being of
a win-win situation for everyone. Yes. Okay. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. We have to take a commercial break. I believe we do have another caller on hold as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Every day in the Cayman Islands, nonprofits and their volunteers work tirelessly, improving our communities and the lives of the people within them.
With GiversPlanet.com, you can make a difference by supporting a fundraising effort or starting your own. Givers Planet provides an online solution to conveniently raise money for your worthy cause. Whether you are fundraising for medical needs, education, animal welfare, youth programs, religious missions, school PTA efforts, or a nonprofit.
Simply create your fundraiser at GiversPlanet.com and spread the word to your local and international supporters so that they can visit and make a secure online donation. Start fundraising online today with GiversPlanet.com.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, but we do have callers online. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning. See how are you?
Good morning. I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Yeah. Can you tell me if the teachers came on history in the schools?
No, I can't. But based on what I'm hearing, or what I've heard, I'm not sure that it is included in the syllabus, or how much of it is included in the syllabus, I should say.
Yeah, because I think that should be one of the subjects that is taught in the Cayman Islands, the history of the country, of the island, you know? And I don't know how to go about it, but, I mean, it's something that, I mean, the educated people and the people that run the country should have that in their curriculum, you know? And I was listening to your other caller, Miss Lorna, I think it was, she was talking about the elderly people and stuff, you know. Just before COVID came in, I used to go to the Pines with my guitar and my mouth organ, and I used to play there for those people, you know, once a week.
Okay.
And yeah, about a couple of years back, I can't even remember who it was that had invited me. I would go to the school up there, Walker's Road, and speak to the school children about our Cayman history, like when we were growing up, you know, stuff that we used to do. You know, we didn't have no running water. We had to put a bucket out in the grass and make it hot to take a bath and things for our parents and stuff like that. I can't remember who it was invited me there, but I used to go twice a month, you know. So I was just wondering what happened to all of these programs, because the children in school are coming up, but they don't know nothing about their country. They don't know nothing about the island, you know. So you know, that's just something that I hope somebody could speak on. You know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How art thou?
And I thought I could hide the whole phone and thing and people in and out. I can call you Swift from now on. But yeah, I can leave all and alone. But the part Miss Parlinda, I was so appreciative of her. First of all, not just the subject matter that she had her closing moments on, but the passion. It rang true to me, because, you know, people just talk and say what they got to say for the moment in the company. But she was so passionate that, like I said, it rang true to me. And then the caller after that, Miss LB, you know, some of the problems, and I know we don't want to face them, some of the problems with discontinuation and where is it and what it should be. Listen, Cayman is a choice place. We are the it country. People come here to have their children here for the possibilities going forward. They didn't come here to learn our history. They came here for our rights and our privileges. And I'm just going to leave it right there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day. Talk to you.
Have a nice day, yes, sir.
Okay. Another caller still on hold, Miss Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC.
Hey.
Man, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, man.
How are the arrivals over there?
Oh, the Cuban tickets for the mega bun pay, boy, plenty one, and more to come.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. But OC, you know, it was a coincidence that I was reading about 1 second.
Okay.
Hold my phone now, and I will come down the road now. Yeah, OC, I'm saying I was listening to the radio now. Now, anything to do with to help the kids, I wish it's 100%, because I done fundraisers for instruments in Cayman Rock when the kid didn't have no instruments.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so a couple years ago, and I don't see nothing going on. But anyhow, I was listening to the Minister for Education say that they got a new thing going on now at the school where they're training mechanics, okay? A lot of cars in Cayman, you need mechanics. And the icing on the cake was that the room where they train them would be air conditioned. So if you train them to be mechanic in air conditioned, I don't think they won't work in the hot sun fix a car. That's my take on it, okay? But she tell me something now, really and truly. And from 1979 I had it. And why don't we want our people in the industrial ways making money? See, I can ask you a question now, a serious question.
Mm-hmm.
When you come from a hard day, whether it's in the office or the construction, and you drive home, you would love for your air condition to be working. If you don't have air condition, I'm sure you got water, that you could take a shower and flush the toilet, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool off, yeah. Uh-huh.
That is because you could hitch a ride home, But why are we not teaching our people plumbing, electrical, laying? There's a construction boom that never happened in the history of Cayman Islands.
And there's a huge demand for it because you try. You end up with a leak in your house. You need a pipe repaired or something like that. Extremely difficult to get someone to do the small job. So if a individual open up a business and focus on the small jobs, the individual homeowners who are going to make a call at the last second because something goes wrong, very difficult to find in Cayman these days.
That's what we should be teaching our children. Look here. See, when you go work at the cars these days, you need to handle computer and thing. When you come to fix a leak, you don't need to know about no computer and thing. Once you can read and write a little bit, and you're going to make the same amount of money or more. Listen to me. When you're tired, you can't flush, you will pay a man $100 to come there just to fix that in 5 minutes, right?
Yep.
I mean, but what it is, look at like laying blocks. When I stopped doing construction 11 years ago, I was paying my guys $1.25 a piece to every block you lay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to have no computer. You need to somebody string on the line for you, line of the place, and you're good to go.
Yeah. What's the going rate now per block? Any idea?
Well, I would go to say no, and I did. I figured they're probably paying the guy about 8 cents a piece because you know what they bring in overseas workers and working them for nothing. But I guarantee you, you might find one or two that is paying the type of wages that I was paying. Because when I shut down, a lot of my guys, I was paying my captain then 15, 16 hours, and other guys around there offer them $11. I would have said, no, I going home. I can live in Jamaica too. I got something in my yard. But we need to get our young Caymanians because, and see another thing, they got said they can't get a job for police record. You know what for what? Right? And again, last week, how much that was? I heard about £900. Okay. Now you can tell me that what is that we can't grow this thing here now 7 years gone now since the medical we can see that there's do you know when prohibition was on in America about the liquor, right? Right, you know what it done? It built the criminal empire, right? And that is what the illegal marijuana is doing in the Cayman Islands. It's building a criminal empire. That's what it's doing. And I mean, for God's sake, if we needed diamonds, you know we can't get diamonds. We don't have them here. But Lord, we got sunshine. Look at the beautiful sunshine. All you need, a little water and a little tender care. And there's money in the bank, renewable. And plenty of diesel fella that don't want to lift up no areas block. But if you get them on a ganja farm that they can smoke the ganja, they will come and work.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that. And I will see that's my tool in pieces. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. Okay, want to shift gears very quickly here. We heard Minister Andre Ebanks speak to what the people in the BVI are experiencing, and he's speaking about the Commission of Inquiry, the report that was made public, as well as the arrest of the premier of the BVI in Florida, the port director in Florida, her son in the U.S. Virgin Islands as well. So there are two things here that I wanted to look at. Number one, the minister has now arrived in the BVI, Minister for the Overseas Territories. She arrived there yesterday. And what has she said? I am here to listen and to understand. UK, that's what she has said, that she's there for 3 days. So here, I want to get some quotes from her. She says, I recognize that there are difficult times, that these are difficult times for the people of the BVI, and I am here to listen and to understand. It is important that we are honest and open with each other when discussing the Commission of Inquiry report and the issues it has identified. So that was based on a press release. According to the release, the purpose of the visit is to meet with Governor John Rankin, Acting Premier Natalia Wheatley, leaders of parties represented in the House of Assembly, and other key individuals and groups in the territory. Now, the whole argument here is that they haven't decided anything. Let me just quickly say, number one, the Commission of Inquiry report, the overarching thing is that the UK should take over the running of the BVI for at least 2 years. You can bet that that is going to take place. And why is that going to take place? Because the minister is not going to ignore the advice of the chairman of the Commission of Inquiry. Why? Because if she ignores it and allows the government to continue as it is, someone else, as acting premier or whatever, and other things happen, this continues on, then she is going to look bad. Is going to say, see, we recommended this, and you didn't follow our advice, and here is what has happened now. So it is going to happen. No doubt whatsoever that they're going to fall under administration. Parts of the Constitution, or the Constitution is going to be temporarily suspended. And there was a build up to this as well, and I'll talk a little bit more about that if I get the opportunity when we return from this commercial break. So folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we are pick? Yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we are pick? Yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamp Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have less than 10 minutes left in the show. We have two callers in the queue. Those will be the last two calls for this morning's show. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my friend?
I'm all right. Oh, see, just to carry on from what I'm all right, because you say
yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to carry on from what you were saying. Yes, with the BVI. Let's say that the Commissioner of Inquiry report is acceded to by the Privy Council, because I guess it had to be an order in council for them to suspend the Constitution, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, they would have to go that route. But there was an indication. I was doing some reading last night on it. There's some reading from the acting premier,
Wheatley?
What is his name?
Wheatley.
Yeah, Wheatley. He's saying that he is not willing to allow that to happen.
Well, I believe demonstrations are actually taking place over there today.
And that he is encouraging and sort of fomenting to have a public demonstration against it. Now, let's say that happens, and there's a big outcry in regards to the people coming on saying, yes, we agree with this. We can sort out this problem ourselves. But then the UK said, no, we have to go by the recommendation of the Commissioner of Inquiry and also suspend your Constitution.
And remember, this is one of their own who making that recommendation, huh?
Right, exactly. So let's say that was to happen. What could be the final outcome? You think they might have to bring in some? If the UK was to press that, I mean, would the UK go that far? You think to press their way?
Well, I think what the government of the BVI should look at and see what the legal challenges that they can mount in that regard. It was never done in the Turks and Caicos Islands, but they should look, from a international standpoint, what legal challenges they may be able to mount to challenge the suspension of the Constitution. That should be the first thing. The other thing is, remember, those people in the Eastern Caribbean, they're not as docile as we over on this side of the world are. And like I said, I'm made to understand that demonstrations are already taking place in the BVI in that regard. What I find a little bit puzzling also is that the leader of the opposition has asked the acting premier that he should denounce the alleged actions by the premier, and I don't think that they need to do that yet, because they should be acting on the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. So I think that's irresponsible on the part of the leader of the opposition. Of course, it's more political than anything else.
Than anything. But I mean, you think that the people, which I think they have a right to just to say, hey, I want to take a pause here because I really don't think that you have to manage my affairs. It's not that bad, let's say. I think the Mr. Wheatley had said himself that every country has their problems in terms of governance. and basically he thinks that they can sort themselves.
Yeah, you don't suspend a constitution because when these things happen in other countries.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, you have corruption. I mean, do want to call out anyone, but I mean, the mother country is not spick and span, let's say. So let's say, for example, I mean, we have to be consistent with these things because after all, you're actually taking away some people's rights and their prestige because you in essence you sort of referring them back to sort of banana republic status, really. But you think that if there was a confrontation between I want to do it my way, I'm not going to listen to your way, you think what could be the final outcome? You think? Just throwing out your ideas.
I think at the end of the day, I wouldn't put it past the British government, even though in this day and age, and with what's happening in the Ukraine, that if the people, if there's an uprising in the BVI, how the UK would react to it, based on it wouldn't look pretty on their part. And that is why I think it's important for them to find a way out. I mean, I think elections are due sometime next year in the BVI. Maybe they should look to bringing the elections forward, letting the people vote in a new government, and let them start on a clean slate. But it is not going to look pretty for the UK doing this. And like I said, they should seek to mount challenges. Now, I'm good. I have about one more minute with you before I go, and I'm going to take up your time. But I see here where one person, there's an article in BVI Platinum News, and someone has pointed out that it would be psychological impact from direct UK rule will affect future generations. That's someone by the name of Crab who has said that. Yeah. Well, they're talking about psychological impact of direct rule. They're ignoring the psychological impact that colonialism is currently having. Forget about direct rule. We're under direct rule anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So we shouldn't be talking about the psychological impact of direct rule. We should be talking about the psychological impact of colonialism, or in its all its forms and manifestations.
Well, it actually couldn't have happened at a worse time, and it's a perfect storm in a way because because there's a lot of bad blood brewing throughout the Caribbean in terms of slavery from UK. So, and then this comes upon it. And now you want to sort of impose back your style of government to be strict when we think we can do it. Basically, that's what they're saying.
And we hope that CARICOM has a voice in this, and that they need to come out and speak about it as well. While you don't want to condone, a corruption, it's only alleged at this point in time. And should the people of the British Virgin Islands suffer as a result of that? No. Caller, I'm going to ask you, give me a chance to grab the last caller. But we'll talk more about this hopefully on Wednesday, even though I do have a guest on Wednesday.
I'll call it.
Sure, great. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
I'm calling right back.
Okay.
But it's on the topic. I say, let the chips fall where they may. Run and employ and run it would be the complete legal course to its fullest capacity, meaning you follow your standards, your processes, and your procedures. That's what we here in the Caribbean need to be doing much more of. Let the chips fall where they may, because everybody understands right and wrong. That's just me. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No.
Anyway, have a nice day.
You're right. Thank you very much for that. So, one of the other reasons why I believe that the UK has already made up their mind as far as this Commission of Inquiry is concerned. Number one, look back. The current governor of the BVI is John Rankin, a seasoned governor who came over from Bermuda after spending either 4 or 6 years in Bermuda. What is alleged that has taken place in Bermuda didn't happen today. I am sure that when choosing John Rankin to be the current Premier of the British Virgin Islands, if the UK had in mind that this was going to take place, they wanted to ensure that they had a seasoned governor, not a rookie, not someone coming out of, the private sector or whatever. They wanted someone coming out of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, someone who was experienced to be able to take over and run the BVI in the event of this, right? It's not an accident that he is there as governor, even though he was not the individual who commissioned or put into motion the commission of inquiry in the British Virgin Islands. Also, if you get an opportunity and you look back at his first press conference that he had after the announcement of the arrest, I believe that he tilted his hand. He tilted his hand, and you could see his cards, because there was somewhere in his speech that he spoke about the fact about his ability to work with civic society, as well as civil servants and others. So to me, when I heard him saying that, I said, well, the decision has already been made. If he's talking about his ability to work with all of these other persons, that means that the Constitution is going to be partially suspended, and he's going to be the one to run the country. Folks, I may be wrong, but months and months ago I told you that if they weren't careful in the BVI, this was what was going to happen. Not that I was wishing for it, but the writing was on the wall, and a leopard does not change its spots. We saw what happened in the Turks and Caicos Islands. I believe that legal advice needs to be taken, and if they are brought under administration, that it should be challenged in this day and age where, like I said, the manifestations of colonialism is still there, irrespective of whether or not they want to call us overseas territories, dependent territories, whatever. It is still there. It is not popular. And the taking over of the British Virgin Islands, to a certain extent, can be seen as the equivalent of what's happening in the Ukraine, and not to belittle what's happening there, because lives are being lost and everything else, in the Ukraine. But the moral equivalent is there as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And giversplanet.com, Cayman's online platform for fundraising and charitable donations.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart